So anyhow, I think that they could spend more time doing things that benefit instead of trying to put satellites and chips on everybody. That's stupidity. Anyway, and matter of fact, there was an RFID type of movie. Oh, how to find your kid with a radio remote control. You know what? There was this a commercial that came up that was about that. She loses her kid at the park. This mother loses her kid at the park, and she used an RFID remote control, and it's a Duracell battery commercial. I would never buy another Duracell battery ever again in my life. I will get energizers. I ain't putting putting chips in your kid just because you can't watch them. You can't pay attention. You know what? There is absolutely no reason to put a darn chip. It's just corporations trying to brand people into merchandise. You ain't make me. God made me. Okay? Just let you know. So you don't brand me. Give Caesar what's due to Caesar, and give God what's due to God. Anyway, and I'm God's. God made me, not no damn Walmart or whoever. So anyway, so. So I just thought it was really inspiring, and obviously, the movie is Star Trek. Star Trek is great. So let me just finish telling you. Anyway, I got in the I got at the the rain finally stopped around 1:30. I'm waiting here for an hour, but I enjoyed my fish. I was watching television. I watched EM Flux, and I own this EM Flux 3-set DVD. It's not over there. It's over here somewhere. Anyway, this EM Flux. It's a 3. I gotta find it later. It's a here it is. So EM Flux, the television version. So this is EM Flux, right? This is so good, I couldn't even finish watching it. It's so heavy. It's so good. Every story is so good that I really couldn't even finish watching it. I want to watch the rest of it. But, I was so enthralled, maybe I'll, in a few more years, I'll get through the whole thing. But I'll take one episode at a time. But it was good that I watched it because Ian Flux was at the television at the place where I eat my fish on Fridays. So, it was so great. I recommend this to anybody who's doing 3D graphics. This is how I learned mine. This one broke me into it. I was learning it, but this one really, UV mapping, and I'm doing some things with that now. So anyway, so then I finally get in the, I finally go, because the rain stopped, I go to get, some money out of the bank, out of the ATM. And so it was a light rain. There were some police cars here and stuff. And Bill was telling me, the chef, the waiter, he keeps the restaurant late at night. And they're open, this is like 1:30, so it's a bar restaurant kind of thing. But there's nobody there because the students are gone from the university. So I really just got to sit by myself and enjoy it. It was only me and him here. So I've been going there for years. So I could order my fish on. They only have a Friday night special. I can order my fish on Friday night at 1:30, and they will save it to me to 12 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow if I so choose. So, but anyway, he tells me, he's like, "Yo, I can call a cab for you." And they'll take you over to the bank and you don't have to get wet and stuff like that. And I said, you know what, the rain has stopped, let me go on over here, go to the bank. And when I got there, pulled some money out of the ATM, and it's one outside. And then I'm on my way back, and just as I get there, get to the street to go back. Then there's a car coming up, and it's a van, and it's a cab, it's a van, the van type cab, and I like those. I love those because they're comfortable, they're roomy, and I'm kind of a big guy, and so I look in there, and there's somebody in there. And he's like, oh no, and he's like, he's looking at me, and he's like doing something, and I'm walking behind the car. I'm thinking, oh, he's already got somebody in there. It had been raining, I couldn't look in there and tell directly. So I started to walk behind the car, and he beeps, and somebody opened the door and says, come on. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, there's somebody already in the back seat. And it's raining, sometimes I don't think, for some reason, when people tell you to get a car, it's good that, I'm not like really scareful person, even though I should be, with certain times I sense danger, but I didn't sense any danger. But, so I go to open the door, and I'm like, well, who's in the back seat? I figure, well, it's just probably one of his buddies riding with him. But I'm aware of the situation, but I open the door, and it's actually a guy that lives on my street, a young dude that works at a supermarket that I see all the time. Very quiet guy. He'll speak to you one minute and won't the next. And he's probably in his 20s. I know we had a conversation once, but he works at the supermarket. I see him all the time. So I get in the car, and I said, and he says, oh, but we're going out towards Eggert. And I'm like, he says, it's out near you. And I'm like, wait a minute. And so I'm in the car, we're driving, and he's like, oh yeah, I thought that, because the guy from the supermarket, I see him walking across the street here in front of the house to take me home. So here it is, now I'm going, and he says, well, I got to go out to Eggert, and then we'll take you home from there, and I'm like, wait a minute, now here it is, I did all of this to avoid going home, going to take my other brother home, which is just right in the inner city, to the old house. And now they're taking me outbound away from my house as I get in the cab that I'm paying for the cab. I'm not paying for his trip, but I'm paying for a cab, and now they still taking me out of the way. So I'm like, oh boy, this next time, just go with the flow. Let them have their way. Go with your brothers any way they kind of want to go. Just have fun. Forget about it. Don't be technical. Don't be Mr. Spock about it. Don't be so logistical, because logistics don't, after a while, stop making sense, just like RFID. So anyway, so anyway. Then I get out here, so I'm like, okay, I'm going out the wrong way. This is still trying to get home from the place, right? I go out the wrong way, and then they drop off the guy, and he says, the cab driver says, you know what, I'm going to charge you from here. I'll turn on the meter now. And I'm like, wait a minute, we wait out here, and now you're going to turn on the meter? I usually only pay $10, $12. And he says, all right. And so he takes one turn around the corner, and then I realize we are only down the street. And I'm about to pay him $10, $12 for a truck that is only going to be $4, $5. Again, I missed it. See, this is why I'm better off staying in the house, because I keep missing the boat on this stuff. I pretty much have problems here in the house too. Sometimes I make my life complicated, right? Anyway, so he says, okay, I'm gonna give you $10. I'm gonna charge you $10. But really, it was only gonna be a $5 or $6 trip at that point. So anyway, next time when it comes to drive, I'm just gonna go with the flow. Wait until I get there. That's what I'm gonna do. Wait until I get there. So anyway, I get home. It's not raining as bad anymore. I get home, and I get to the house. And then I realize I forgot my key. So at this time, I done had enough. I'm like, oh Lord. I done walked out of the house. because I was with my brothers, and I don't know, maybe because I changed my pants, or it was actually in my jacket, and I didn't wear a jacket, and I didn't know it was gonna rain. And if I had known it was gonna rain, I would have wore the jacket that had I left my key in the keys that I left in the jacket. So anyway, so now it's like one something. Dad's asleep, and I gotta get in the house, and it's raining. And really, I have had incidents where I have cut my foot trying to get in the house, sneaking in the window, broke a window, and everything else. So now I can't get in the house, and Dad's asleep, and Dad got a bad leg. He gotta get out of the bed. So fortunately, he's on the first floor. So I walk over to his window. I'm like knocking on the door. Dad, I forgot my key. Let me in. And so as he turns on the light, then he, hobbles down the stairs, and he lets me in. And so that was the first thing he said. How was the movie? How was the trip? The movie was good. It's Star Trek. Star Trek is great. Anyway, love you all. God bless you all.